Hello. Welcome to Purushotam Academy. Today we are going to know the biography of Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin, 1809 to 1882, was an English national scientist who laid down a framework for the theory of evolution, showing how man evolved from lower life forms. At the time, his research and publication led to bitter controversy, but his theory of evolution and natural selection later became accepted within the scientific community. Charles Darwin was born on February 12, 1809 in Shrewsbury, Shropshire. He was born into a wealthy and influential family. His grandfathers included China manufacturer Josiah Wedgwood, and Erasmus Darwin, one of the leading intellectuals of 18th century England. Darwin planned to study medicine at Edinburgh University, but later, at the instigation of his father, changed to studying divinity at Christ's College, Cambridge University. Darwin was not a great student, preferring to spend time in outdoor pursuits. He spent a lot of time examining natural science and beetle collecting. After gaining a passionate interest in natural science, Darwin was offered a place on the HMS Beagle to act as a natural scientist on a voyage to the coast of South America. At the time, religion was a powerful force in society, and most people took the Bible as the infallible, literal Word of God. This included the belief that God created the world in 7 days, and the world was only a few thousand years old. However, on the voyage, Darwin increasingly began to see evidence of life being much older. In particular, Lyell's principles of geology suggested that fossils were evidence of animals living hundreds of thousands of years ago. On the voyage, Darwin made copious notes about specimens he found on his voyages. In particular, at the Galapagos Islands 500 miles west of South America, Darwin was struck by how the finch was different on each individual island. He noticed that the finch had somehow adapted to the various aspects of the particular island. Over the next 20 years, Darwin worked on the dilemma of how species evolve and can end up being quite different on different islands. Influenced by the work of Thomas Malthus, Darwin came up with a theory of natural selection and gradual evolution over time. Darwin continued to refine his theory, and would intensively breed plants to work on his theories. However, realizing how controversial his ideas were, Darwin delayed publishing them. It was not until learning that another naturalist, Alfred Russel Wallace, had developed similar ideas, that Darwin was galvanized into publishing his own book. In 1859, the groundbreaking On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection was published. It immediately gained widespread interest and attention, leading to intense debate about the contention that man, by implication, was descended from animals like the ape. However, by the time he died on April 19, 1882, his ideas had increasingly become accepted, at least by the scientific and non-religious society. He was given a state burial at Westminster Abbey. Darwin's religious beliefs. Darwin was brought up in the Church of England, and at one point was being trained to be an Anglican priest. Like many of his generation, he took the Bible as the literal Word of God and often quoted it as a source of moral authority. However, after his epic voyage to South America, he became doubtful of the Bible as a source of history. He also felt no reason why all religions couldn't be true. From 1849, he stopped going to church, though he never considered himself to be an atheist. He felt that agnostic suited his beliefs more closely. He wrote in his autobiography that he eventually gave up Christianity as he disagreed with the conclusion that all non-believers spend eternity in hell. He was politically liberal, being an opponent of slavery. He experienced the brutality of how people treated their slaves in a Spanish colony. Facts about Charles Darwin. 1. He was the grandson of Josiah Wedgwood, the famous furniture manufacturer. 2. He studied medicine at the University of Edinburgh but found lectures dull. 3. He learned taxidermy from John Edmonstone, a freed black slave. 4. Darwin became an enthusiastic beetle collector, which was a craze at the time. 5. His father sent him to Christ's College, Cambridge, with the intention of training him as an Anglican parson. He later gave up Christianity. 6. His 5-year voyage on HMS Beagle established him as an eminent geologist and popular writer. His observations would be used to develop his theory of evolution. 7. He sometimes questioned his own scientific discoveries. I feel most deeply that this whole question of creation is too profound for human intellect. 8. In modified form, Darwin's theory of evolution is now seen as the unifying theory of the life sciences. 9. On the New Galapagos Islands, Darwin saw many samples of animals which showed relations to animals in other parts of the world, for example mockingbirds in Chile. 10. During the Beagle expedition, Darwin shipped home a total of 1,529 species preserved in spirit and 3,907 labeled dried specimens. 11. Darwin and Wallace's theories on evolution were both presented on the same day in 1858 to the Linnean Society of London. 12. Darwin took 22 years from the end of the voyage to publish his findings. He was worried about the reaction of people. It is said the thought of Wallace publishing first galvanized him into action. 13. The full title of Origin of Species is On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life. 14. Darwin did not coin the phrase survival of the fittest. It was added to the 5th edition of Origin of Species. The phrase came from economist Herbert Spencer. 15. Darwin has appeared on more UK stamps than anyone outside the royal family. 16. 7 months after the publication of Origin of Species, the famous 1860 Oxford evolution debate occurred between Thomas Henry Huxley and Bishop Samuel Wilberforce. The debate is considered to be a great moment in natural history, and a key moment in the acceptance of evolution. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe for more updates.